we've been gearing up for Aligned 17, which is a virtual conference dedicated to sales and marketing alignment. It's happening May 22nd through the 26th, and we wanted to do something special for B2B Growth listeners. Leading up to the event, we'll be giving you early access to some of the Aligned 17 sessions. Today's episode is exactly that. So if you like today's interview, head over to aligned17.com and sign up to access every session of the event. We've got an incredible lineup of speakers, including Gary Vaynerchuk, Jill Conrath, Tony Hughes, Tucker Max, and Trish Bertuzzi, along with dozens of other B2B sales and marketing experts. So go to aligned17.com and sign up today. You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm James Carberry.
And I'm Jonathan Green.
Let's get into the show.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Aligned 2017. Really excited to talk with fellow CU Buff alum, Keenan. Yeah, go
yes,
Buffs. So for those who may not know you, Keenan, give us a little background. Who's Keenan? What do you do at A Sales Guy?
A Sales Guy is a sales consulting and recruiting firm. We work with companies all over the world, helping them accelerate sales, transition, transform their sales teams. And there you have it. We're just helpers. We're helpers, value creators.
Value creators. You put some of the best content out there. And also, I do have to give a shout out to your book, Not Taught. Everyone should go out and read that. Even if you're not in sales, where is it at?
Yeah, baby.
There it is. There it is. Must have been that CU education. Must have been that.
Boom, right? Exactly.
Cool. So let's just dive right in. I know we have a lot to talk about.
Oh. Can people comment on this when you post it? Can they comment?
Yes.
First five people that comment and hit me up on Twitter, we'll send them a free book. So you let me know.
Oh, amazing. I love it. So let's just dive right in. I was hosting a panel last week at Topo. It was you, it was David Brock, it was Jill Rowley, and you guys were talking about actually something really interesting. One specific topic came up, and I want to talk about that here. At least we'll start off with it. And that's really like aligning around goals and objectives and especially compensation. Now, I know that a lot of people talk about it, but I don't think a lot of people are actually practicing it. So talk to me, how do you actually start to align around goals, objectives, and these compensation metrics?
Well, the first thing, and first and foremost, when it comes to goals for your marketing and sales organizations, if you want them to be aligned, and I'm going to flip the script, so the reverse piece, right? If marketing can be successful and quote unquote make their goals, and sales can't and isn't successful when they don't make their goals, you're misaligned.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line right there. So if marketing makes their goals, but sales doesn't, you're misaligned. Now, the flip side, if sales makes their goals, and marketing doesn't, that's kind of a weird anomaly, but that's misaligned, yeah. Right? So it means basically marketing sucks and sales is doing all the hard work, so that in itself isn't okay. So the first thing is one person or one group can't make their goal and be considered successful if the other one doesn't. That's the first sign you're misaligned. The second sign is, look, you gotta make sure that whatever it is sales has got to get, marketing is held accountable for them. You can have sub-goals and sub-objectives and whatever you want to call them, but the truth of the matter is they have to drive to the same numbers that sales does.
Perfect. I love it. Talk to me about customer success. Now, I know, we're mostly talking about sales and marketing and alignment, but on the panel last week, that actually came up. How does success play a role in all of this?
So, I think I'm a little contrarian with folks because I think customer success isn't really tightly defined right now. Like, some people call customer success, and what I view as customer success is the people that make sure the implementation works well. They make sure that whatever it is the sales team sold them is actually what they're getting. It's a really good customer success organization understands the business drivers and the business motivations that the buyer had, so they make sure that those are being met when they were delivered or implemented. Right? But my general definition does not include upsells and renewals and things like that. To me, that's selling. Yeah. So some people bleed the two. I separate it. I call that account management.
Yes.
I don't believe, but I met someone just the other day that she calls herself customer success, but not only is she responsible for those first things, but she's also responsible for upselling, and she's also responsible for renewals. And I just find that to be somewhat of a conflict of an interest, and it also, I don't think it's effective or efficient. So,
is that more like mid-market or SMB sales? Do you think it's a difference in size?
I don't think it's different in size. I just think it simply is a difference in philosophy. Right. I think, look, if we look at the transformation of sales, starting with outside account executives and then moving to, this idea of inside and then inbound and outbound, and you kept moving through, I think in maybe 2018, we're going to start talking about customer success, and you're going to see more and more conversations around that, and you're going to see how they fit into the sales ecosystem. But I still think people are figuring that one out because it's not as forward facing as the other ones. But so I just think it's lack of understanding, lack of expertise in those things. I think people are experimenting.
Cool. Got it. All right. So talk to me about, let's dive one level deeper in compensation. So should marketing be now compensated on more down funnel metrics?
Depends on how down funnel you want to go, but I would say no. So my belief in marketing is this. If SDRs and BDRs and LDRs sit with marketing, yes, right? Because what they're selling, in my opinion, is the meeting. Mm-hmm. So they should absolutely be compensated on their ability to set the meeting. But marketing as a whole, because other than the LDRs and the SDRs, they're much more ambiguous, if you will, what they're doing, right? I mean, they're doing different things. They got to grab different metrics. But at the end of the day, if those metrics don't get me the end revenue that I'm trying to make, then no, they haven't been successful. So I like them to be more focused on the broader numbers that sales is compensated on. So if sales has a quota, sales organization quota of 10 million, and that's broken up across 10 salespeople, or 1 billion broken up across 1,000 salespeople, then marketing damn straight better have $1 billion associated in their compensation as far as their bonuses. Here's the difference though. It should be part of their total target comp, or their OTE, on target earnings. It shouldn't be marketing. Your compensation is at a total is I'm making up a number, $125,000 marketing, executive or whatever. And oh, by the way, if you hit this, then you'll get a bonus on top. But if not, no worries, you get your 125. Your total target comp should include that. So if you're telling me you're going to go hire a marketing executive for $250,000 a year, then they only get 75% of that if they don't hit their number. So It's not additive, it's the other way around, just like sales, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. We know that we don't get our full target comp unless we make our goal. Marketing has to feel the same thing. It's not an addition marketing. It's you don't get paid your full total target comp unless you get the number.
I like that. All right. So next question. I'm a CEO. You're the head of sales. What can I do to align myself more specifically with you? What's the conversation look like of me coming to you? What do you want to hear?
Oof, that's a really broad question. All right, so there are two types of CEOs. There are the sales-oriented CEOs, and then there are the generally speaking, the founder, tech-oriented, geek, engineering type of CEOs, right? If it's a sales CEO, my answer is get out of my way. Right?
Get out of my way.
Let me run the sales organization. I will tell you what I need. I'm open to your insights, but no, I'm not going to do everything you tell me to do. No, I don't like that idea. Let me run it. I know you love sales, and I love the fact that you're sales driven and you want to build the sales culture, but that's why you hired me. Get out of my way. Right? Let me run the sales organization. I'll tell you what I need. And then from there, if they're really good, they already know a lot of this. I want marketing aligned with me, right? I don't want separate goals for marketing. I want to make sure I have all the support we need for the organization. So I need your support collectively, right? If it's a geek, founder, engineer, it's like, hey, get involved. And yes, sales matters. And yes, the product needs to be, no, the product won't sell itself. And yes, these guys are earning their keep. And so stop beating them up. Stop saying you can do it without them. Stop trying to cut their commissions. Stop trying, right? No. We need them. They're going to take this great product and they're magnifiers, right? They're accelerators. They're accelerants. So start allowing us to build a sales culture to collaborate or map to this engineering culture that we already have.
I like that a lot. I think that you actually hit on a really important point there, is having a sales culture. It's not just your sales team having a culture. I think it's your entire organization having a sales culture, so that everyone really is driven to those numbers. So any advice around how to then start to build this culture outside of just your sales team?
So again, it's interesting. That depends on the type of organization. It depends on what exists. You're asking some really broad questions that are great questions. Unfortunately, they're not the type of questions that have a pat answer, right? Anytime you want to build a culture, you have to start with, well, where are we? What's going on? What is the current culture? What is lacking? What is the overarching culture of the organization, right? A lot of times the sales culture could clash with the overarching organizational culture, and you got to figure out a way to blend it or bend them so they can come together. So, I think the first thing is you got to ask yourself, where do you want the organization to go, and what defines the culture that you want to have? But I think there are some specific labels that I think are critical to sales cultures. Either you have, like I said, a teaching culture when it comes to sales. Is your sales organization a teaching organization? I think another type of culture that I like to talk with people about is, do they have a coaching organization or a coaching culture? Does their leadership coach their salespeople? Right? So another one is, do we have an overall sales culture which basically empowers and celebrates salespeople for what they actually do, or do you have an anti-sales culture, right? So I think it really just depends on where they are, where they're going, and what exists today before you really start to go in and quote unquote create a sales culture, because that's a very loose term.
Cool. Got it. What's the biggest mistake that you see people making when it comes to just aligning their team? What are the things that they're doing wrong that might be causing misalignment?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes people are making today, and I probably wouldn't have said this just 6 months ago, they're not the structure, right? So here at a Sales Guy Consulting, when we go with our clients, we break down our whole consulting methodology is we break down sales across 4 pillars: strategy, structure, people, and process. And we argue that I don't care how big your organization is, and we work with people as big as Intel and Verizon, or how small your organization is. We work with startups who just got Series A and they don't know how to, engineering founder doesn't know how to build a sales team. And it doesn't matter where you are. Your sales organization will fail or succeed based on how well you execute against those 4 principles. And there's nothing that ever sits outside of those. And so to your question, I think is a great one. I believe it's a structural issue. Whether it's sales and marketing don't literally and physically sit close enough together, and or sales and marketing, the way you go to market, you don't build pursuit teams, or you don't go to market teams that have marketing and sales in front of them. So let's talk about ABM, right? If I've got an ABM strategy and I've got a set of salespeople who are working a territory or working a list, right? Where is my marketing person? Why don't I have a dedicated marketing person who's sitting there with me, that's sitting in the pipeline meetings when I'm talking to my sales manager and is talking about the most recent plays we ran, or is providing insight on how those plays worked, or looking for feedback? Like they're structurally not close enough, right? So that can be physically close enough, or that can be structurally like, okay, from now on, this person and this from sales, and this person from marketing, and this person from sales engineering, and this person from product, make up this pursuit team, and this is how we're going to execute against this, and these are the processes to keep you together, and yada, 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 yada. Not enough of that. And I don't think I would have said that 6 months ago.
Got it. Cool.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. Is there anything that you would give to people, or maybe a direction you could point them if they don't have that structure, that they can then start to build the right structure?
So the first thing I would say is ask yourself, how are you going to market? Because if you're in a traditional sales organization where the salesperson is still required to do 90% of the prospecting, you don't have an SDR group, then, it's not as important to have marketing aligned. If you've moved into one where you have more of an inside sales organization, and it's a certain percent outbound and a certain percent inbound, then start asking yourself, how are you getting the flow of information between sales and marketing? If I walk into a sales organization and I say, hey, what was the most recent play marketing ran? Did it work? And who did it go out to? And if they don't know, it probably means you're not structured very well, because there's not enough communication. And if I go to the marketing person and say, okay, who are the 3 most important clients to Brandon? When was the last time he spoke to them? What do they do? Who is his key contact? What is that person like? And if you don't know, then there's not enough communication going on, right? Both sides got to be close enough so they can play off of each other. So that's how I would probably go about it. Start finding out how close they are and what do they lack by not being closer together, and how does that affect my go-to-market?
Nice. I love it. All right, cool. Last question. If people could walk away from just this talk with one key takeaway, what would you want that takeaway to be for them?
Build a structure. Well, if that's overwhelming, build a channel that allows marketing and sales to know exactly what the other one is doing and how it impacts them.
Nice. I love it, Keenan. I usually like to end it with one question that people might not find out about you through a normal interview. It's your birthday today, right?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, baby. Thank you very much.
What are you doing today for your birthday? Anything special planned?
No, I'm working my ass off and actually having a great day. I have been non-stop since I dropped my kids off at school. And I don't know why, but I am fired up. Like, I've closed some deals. I've created some appointments. I've connected with people. I mean, it's just, I feel like a piston.
Well, Keenan, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find out more about you?
YouTube. Go Keenan on YouTube, or I think it's actually a YouTube, a sales guy consulting, but you can go Keenan on YouTube. Find me on Twitter at Keenan. And then if and a salesguy.com. Any one of those places.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thanks again for joining us, Keenan, and we'll talk to you next time.
My pleasure, baby. Peace.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you'd like to connect with B2B executives from all over the world, make sure to join our private Facebook community. There are some incredible conversations happening inside this group. To join, visit b2bgrowthshow.com/FB.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.